looking at statistically and where these teams are standing, I was expecting this game to be a very fun one. Now seeing the drafts, I'm very, very excited by it. I do still have that worry that Vanir could just get ahead early and snowball the game out of control, and Uniq will struggle, and you'll maybe see some of that kind of desperation plays like we saw in the previous game coming out from Domino. But I do also think for the side of Uniq, those desperation plays will typically at least result in one kill because you've got the Vi, you've got the ability to kind of land that target lockdown. And I think also in fights, like even if they're behind and the likes of Ploxy or Luca jump into the middle of the team, Polymorph is such an annoying tool. Anyone who's played into Lulu on like a melee carry knows how absolutely horrendous it feels to jump into the enemy team and then just get polymorphed, and you're just like, right, I guess I die or I just don't do anything and they walk away. It is painful.
Yeah, it's horrendous. It absolutely is. And that's why, like, when you're drafting against Lulu, the things you look for, does the enemy team have a Lulu? Okay, for example, you just don't pick Akali, right? Like, people always say, oh, Lulu's in the game. There's no Akali. This is not an Akali angle anymore, just because that one champ's existence. Oh, big damage coming in from Peterson. Gets full stacks of the Relic Shield. I don't think anything else is going to happen. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And like you said, it's going to be that mid-game team fights, the mid to late-game team fights that Uniq want, and that worries me a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of drafts which lack direction and just say, you know what, guys, just pray we get there, right? Because that doesn't feel replicable. You know, that just feels like just try your best to survive and do nothing, and that's exactly what Uniq have drafted, praying they get to those ornaments, praying they get to Akali scaled up and Zeri scaled up, you know, but once they do get there, for sure. No, absolutely. On the other hand, though, I don't want to say Vanir just auto-lose if it comes late, because that's not true, right? They have Gwen, who thrives against melee champions, right? You always know what you're going to get with Gwen. Gwen is like in a way, a stat check champ, where you just get the anti-melee percentage max health damage that will always outside lane attack, right? So you do have really good matchups in the top side, and, you know, there's an argument it's fine in the mid lane, and you also have playmaking that you can have with Ploxy. So in this game, if we're going to see any action, it is going to come from Vanir's jungler, right? Vanir's jungle mid or Vanir's jungle bot, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it looks like they are already putting some attention down. I do believe he was revealed there in that little fog of war, so thanks to the observer allowing us to see that. As Luca and Paul going for the trade here. We'll see how this is going to go. Very, very close trade. Luca's low, but Ploxy's coming in. And it looks like he is going to be able to get away from that one. Flash burn, crucially there, but okay, you are seeing, you know, the Akalis, when they do pick this up, you spoke about it earlier, but, you know, a lot of mid laners do think that this is slightly Akali favored. That fight was very slightly Akali favored. Very, very tightly. Yeah. Only separated by the fact that Ploxy was in the area.
And this is exactly what I wanted to see, right? Like in the Champions Select, I said, these players are definitely the players that could step up and carry their team. I haven't been impressed with Nihus. I haven't been impressed with the bot lane. Paul looks decent, and so does Luca. Luca looks like the standout player to me, and we're seeing it right now. Both mid laners are desperately trying to edge out each other to become that carry for their team.
Absolutely. All right, for now, though, seeing what everyone else is doing. Looks like the resets are coming in. Vanir keeping Chrisberg in that bot side for just a little bit long to push the wave out. And I think a couple of minions will get lost here by Kyra. Does actually have that W, though, so it should just be okay to pick up any minions that go out. There we go. It's going to be A-okay. Kyra getting back to base. Got the Vamp Scepter for a bit of extra sustain. With that Lulu, it's going to be very hard to actually take out Kyra now with that burst between the pair of them. And obviously, this is the slightly different version now where the Nami, instead of having Electrocute, is running that Airy. We all remember the Electrocute era. That was absolutely awful. But Paul maybe going in for a bit of a bait here. Has got everybody with them. Is going to try and jump over the wall. Paul now getting caught out. Tries to fling back. Dodges away. Doesn't have flash, remember. So he is going down. Chrisberg finds first blood. Paul feeling a little bit too confident with the fact he had his mid in jungle. But didn't really account for the fact that Vanir would also have their mid in jungle. And AD carry.
And Ploxy, with that flash burned earlier, manages to find that gank and secure and punish that flash. League 101, right? You pop a flash and you revisit the lane and you manage to find a kill for your Chrisberg, who is now accelerated, getting closer and closer to his Gale Force. And the second he gets his Gale Force, he is truly unlocked, right? You can just go mid lane, press Gale Force, and one-shot anyone that's there, which is the power of this Nami Lucian. And as expected, all the action is coming from Vanir's jungle, right? Ploxy is that he's definitely a type of jungler where you just look at him and you're like, he is going to make plays early game. He's going to pick something like a Sejuani, something like a Wukong, a Vi, and he's just going to gank. And some trading coming down from bot side, but it's not going to matter. At the end of the day, we're going to go back to farming.
Absolutely. Well, 5 minutes in, execution is calling actually picked up at Antwer, kind of to deal with the sustain available on both sides as Kyra ends up losing a fair amount of HP here. Still feeling confident with the barrier and the heal on their support. No summoners burnt in that bot side. Obviously got that Vampiric as well, so Kyra will be able to kind of sustain back up with the pots ticking as well. That was a very, very explosive little fight there in the bot side of the lanes as Pedersen actually getting a whole bunch of damage off. Antwer coming in as well. They're going to jump onto touch, forcing out the heal. Pedersen going low, trying to hold the heal for the bait. Not going to be able to find the kill, unfortunately. And now Ploxy's in the area. Very, very close fights, constantly breaking out on the bottom side of the map.
No, extremely close. And this is just showing the power of the double ranged into the Lucian Nami. Normally, Lucian Nami takes a little bit to come online, but maybe Ploxy finds a play here. I doubt it, though, because Cyrax can probably just hop over the wall, and he's just going to choose to recall and go back to farming. And once again, I think this is expected, right? We are still waiting for those spikes to come online, but the fights are going the way of Vanir a little bit because of that raw AD differential. You have a pickaxe longsword versus a vamp scepter, and it's just the damage is just too much for this Zeri, and she just has to sit back and sustain again.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Like, yes, there's a 20
No,
CS
it's completely
lead,
fine.
but Kyra is going to have good scaling. You know, Lulu and any champion, let alone someone like a Zeri, always going to have really solid scaling into that later stages of the game. So to be down 20 CS in what is effectively a very powerful early lane bully duo in the Nami Lucian, always going to make, you know, they're going to be happy with this for now. They're going to try and catch as much farm as they can to kind of equalize out this score. And I believe Chrisberg may drop a couple of minions on the crash. So CS deficit not going to be quite as monumental. Speaking of monumental CS leads, so far, Luca, with that kind of early attention from his jungler, has actually been able to build himself up a slight CS lead, and Touch holding the wave there to make sure Chrisberg doesn't lose any to the tower. Loses one, unfortunately. Is going to be able to keep that CS lead for themselves. Noon Quiver now getting finished up for Kyra, so finally starting to build up some items, but Chrisberg's 320 away from finishing up either that Noon Quiver or that Kraken Slayer. Ploxy might find himself in danger. Ooh. He gets the arrow to the right target, but Ploxy, quick flash over the wall, does not want to hang around. Antwer stays on top of the control ward. And Lungi actually coming in on the flank. They've got the Cyclone. He's not going to be able to get away from this one. Flashes in and dies immediately. Now Lingui pops the needlework and is trying to get a whole bunch of damage off at the moment to get the knock up on to the Monkey. And that's going to be 2 kills picked up for Nihus. Luca's being chased down. The culling comes in from Chrisberg to buy a bit more space. He jumps over the wall. Flash out from Kyra. They're trying to keep the fight going. Pedersen doesn't have 6, so he doesn't have the wild growth. All he can do is slow and watch Nihus go down. But at the end of the day, Uniq did get a couple of kills there.
And this is exactly what you'd expect, when you'd hope for. Vanir overextending and Uniq punishing that overextension, because they can't make proactive plays themselves, right? They have to rely on an overextension and punishing because they don't have the setup. And that's exactly what happened. So honestly, whilst it did look bad, Uniq come away with a couple kills with the better scaling composition. And look at that. One just finishes off the Radiant Virtue already, whilst the other top laner, just Gwen, sitting on components, and it's kind of miserable, right? Because of this superior skirmishing.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really, really big for them there as well. And I feel like had that been level 6 and Pedersen, had Pedersen had his level 6, that fight could have gotten even more favored for Uniq. They could have actually picked up a couple of extra kills. So they're going to be quite happy with that one. And speaking of being happy, they're going to get themselves a Hextech Drake, get that attack speed, get that ability haste as well under their belt. Going to be feeling very happy with that one. Ploxy, on the other hand, though, does cross map and take himself the Rift Herald. So it is a objective for objective trade. Pedersen is just going to try and get a little bit of poke off, but does lose a ward for it. We'll see where Antwer now goes. He's got that level 6, that ultimate backup and available any second now, 4 seconds until it comes up. Did just use it previously. Obviously, it's flashless, but you do have the ability with the Q to kind of close the gap. And he's going to sneak his way into this bot lane. There is no minions. There is no vision. And actually, the only ward down is placed by the side of Uniq in that front bush.
The dash?
Really, really nice. The Q's already been used. The dash is there. They're going to chase a great tidal wave into bubble. Antwer goes down. Touch, honestly, absolutely beautiful play from him. Really, really nice.
And touch with the... Yeah, exactly what you said. You honestly took the words out of my mouth. The beautiful bubble as he ults down and just gets stuck. I honestly thought that was going to go the way of Uniq. So if you just watch this, he ults. Chrisberg manages to get another dash, but that bubble was juicy, I've got to say. And it turns the way of Vanir. And you got to feel bad. Off of cooldown, his ultimates have not been going well. He went mid to the top side river, dies to Ploxy, and now he goes bot to try and make a play. Dies again whilst trying to be proactive. So not the best results he could have hoped for. And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, he has Gale Force now. He could just go wherever he wants to. Vanir are looking really good.
It was the dash, the flash under the tower, the tidal wave to zone out Kyra and Pedersen. Just really, really smart decision making there. And now Chrisberg does have a target on his back. He has most of the kills for his team. He's worth an extra 300 gold. So I do expect to see them try and repeat gank. Like you said, League 101. If you burn the flash, go back and try and see if you can get them with it.
No, 100%. And you've got to hope. Okay, let's take a look, right? Who has summoners, who doesn't? I could see a Chrisberg who's 3-0, who you really want to shut down, and potentially you try again. You know, maybe you combo the Wild Growth with the Assault and Battery from Vi, and you just go bot side again. But I do think that Vanir are sniffing this out. Look at Ploxy. He's heading and hovering down to mid bot side, whilst Paul is looking for the play bot side as well. So they really do not want Chrisberg to get punished because of this lack of flash, because he did have to pop that flash earlier.
Yeah, and it does look like Antwer, though, is going to try and put some attention down there. Also, has his camp spawning up, and Ploxy in the area could steal those ones away. They know Ploxy's there because of that really, really sneaky ward just at the entrance to the jungle, so they can see what Ploxy's up to. They can see him hanging about. And honestly, for the side of Uniq, they are none the wiser. But they just see the monkey because there's an entrance at both entrances to the... a ward at both entrances to the jungle. So Ploxy has been completely spotted out, and now they know that Antwer can go for this gank bot side. The problem is if he goes over on the blast cone, he will get spotted out by the control ward in the area. Gonna wait for that Q to come back up. Kyra's not in the area, so this is a real fumble, but Chrisberg taking 2 tower shots. It's a freebie. Ploxy's in the area, and he catches him immediately. Oh, that is such a just horrific stage of play there for Uniq. They lost so much.
Yeah, and you try to engage as Ploxy, but you get instantly polymorphed, so you're not punished either, and they can just go back to farming whilst being ahead. Look at Lingui, he's just cross-map playing, stealing all the camps, taking his red buff, and it's gotta feel bad if you're Antwer. He's gonna go there and just find no red buff. But look bot lane, there might be a cross-map potential here. Zoning Chrisberg off of this wave. Doesn't look like anything's gonna happen though, and they're just gonna go back to trying to make a play mid lane.
They are going to put the Herald down and get a little bit of damage and plate gold over to the side of Luca Pedersen. They're coming in. They've got the ultimate from Antwer. He's going to lock them in place. Jumping in with the ult, the connection, the follow-up, the CC. Oh. Paul secures the kill.
It's exactly what you want to see from the side of Antwer. Every time your Assault and Battery is up, you just look to make a play. This is exactly what we saw from the side of Riddle. You know, Johan, every single time his ult was up. Just look side, look anywhere, press R and hope it's a kill, because that's all Vi can do. That is her entire identity. She has now hit that Chainsword spike, so that next ultimate, it's going to have a reduced cooldown as well, just do so much damage, and hopefully they're going to win out and get to the second Drake.
Do you want to know a really horrible fact? He actually had that dive already. When they use that mid lane play, he has Chainsword. Yeah, that's not a fresh buy. And,
that's a tragedy.
Silas, the biggest pain for Silas is anti-heal early, because like Kingslayer does. Yeah. I still hate how much Kingslayer heals for. It's such a ridiculous ability, and like having it cut that heavily, because I believe it's 60% on Chainsword, right? So 60% grievous wound. You're just not you're not surviving. It doesn't matter.
Play fails mid, but if there's no action here, you want to know a fun fact about Kingslayer? I believe it has the biggest cooldown reduction out of any single ability. It goes from something crazy like 14 seconds to 5. It's absolutely absurd if you max it first. No, it's disgusting. And I just look at that ability, I'm like, why? You know, you compare it to Nasus, who has passive lifesteal, and you just, it's really just not fair, is it?
It's such a... I hate Kingslayer. I mean, I don't like Silas. I find him the most infuriating champion to play into. Oh, the fight. It's going to happen. Antwer gets the grump. Silas players, man. You need a hug. You need a hug, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what more to say. As Luca is giving... Paul is giving Luca the hug. It was a little bit too tight, and he's able to secure himself the kill. Now Ploxy's coming in with the monkey copter, jumping back. They're going to throw everybody in, and Ploxy's traded out. They're going to look to try and get the kill onto the Vi. Beautiful dash away. The culling's not enough as Chrisberg takes a couple of tower shots in response. A 1 for 2 in favor of Uniq.
And Paul finds the solo kill onto Luca. This mid lane is so explosive. Every single time we pan over to mid lane, someone's dead or dying. Every single time. And this is what you expect with this skill-based matchup in Akali versus Silas. But on top of that, you have these two hyper carries for the team in terms of player skill. These players, they're really stepping up.
Yeah, they really are. Obviously, Roa now finished up onto Luca, so when that's fully stacked, does get that additional level, and he's going to need it because he's down 2 right now to Paul, so we'll help him a little bit on that one.
No, for sure.
Everywhere else, let's take a quick stock of the items, actually. So, obviously, Protobelt finished up onto Luca. You got the, Rod of Ages onto Luca, Protobelt onto Paul. Riftmaker finished up onto Lingui, as Nihu's obviously got their Mythic finished up and is now building towards the Frozen Heart as well. Chainsword onto Antwer. Also, Immortal Shield Bow onto Kyra. And looks like Vanir going to turn their attention towards the second Rift Herald for themselves. So, they're doing pretty good on those objectives, and they should just slap this down mid lane and open up mid for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you get the 300 gold injection. You really like it if you're trying to snowball the game. And who would I prefer to have it on? Maybe you just give it to Chrisberg, right? The local gold of the mid lane turret. I mean, you of course naturally you want that mid lane turret. It's incredibly important. If you take this mid lane turret, it opens up loads of jungle routes to invade and stuff like this. But on top of that, you get the gold. And if you just keep accelerating Crispin, I don't think you can go wrong, right? You just make this guy such a menace that he's just unkillable and one-shots. This might be a kill.
Yeah, this might just be the kill. The brittle procs are too much. Nihu's actually playing it nice and smart and doesn't overcommit. I don't think he knew exactly where Ploxy was, and he didn't want to get turned onto, especially when the fact Lingui has the Riftmakers, he has the healing, and honestly, that fight may have gone a little bit longer than Nihu's wanted it to do, as Ploxy is going to chase in. They're bringing the teleports from Paul to see if they can keep Nihu's alive. He's holding up for the moment. They're shifting in with the ultimate. They're going to get the lockdown, the slows, the tower shot, the follow-up, and Paul is fed.
It's not done. Crispberg's here.
Can he find the kill? Good Shuriken flip back, culling forward. Minions are going to eat most of the culling, so Paul's out.
Oh. And I don't know if we get a replay of that, but like, I'm pretty sure what happened was the reason that took so long is because Ploxy, yeah, he queued a minion, right? So he doesn't get the immediate armor shred onto Nihu, and it just takes so much longer. I'm pretty sure if he gets the Q onto Nihu's, he manages to get out there, maybe even survives until Crispberg comes.
I don't know. That was a lot of burst from Paul, to be fair. He
it was a lot,
shredded through him. And he's now got the Hextech Alternator as well. So he has that kind of additional little bit of microburst as well to go on top of that. Mid lane tower will go down for Uniq here. Antwer's going to make his way over to make sure that it does go down. Also picks up that local gold for himself. So we're talking about the usage of the Rift Herald to open up mid lane. Uniq, in response, just open up mid without it. But I do expect, with the fact the monkey's in the mid, Ploxy probably will slam this down here. Make sure that they do answer out, because as long as this mid lane tower stands, there's always an area where Uniq can kind of use as a point to mount attacks for objectives. So actually, with Demolish, they don't even need to use it. So this is really nice here. They can actually open up the bot lane tower now and take all of the outer towers and actually pull ahead a little bit in the map control off the back of it.
Yeah, and you got to wonder now, are Uniq willing to contest this dragon? Because they're not first in, right? They're completely surrounded in terms of their flanks, and they're just posturing potentially. But look at Nihu's. He's not there. He's going to TP, okay. Oh, I was really scared for an engage there because Nihu's was not there. What?
Well, now there's an engage. Luca did just lost the Vyar, so he doesn't have that. That's got its own cooldown for the moment, but in they jump. Chrisberg singled out, taken down. Paul secures himself a double kill. Ploxy gets slowed down just momentarily there, but they're not going to be able to chase for a little bit more. 2 kills over to the side of Uniq, and honestly, Luca losing that assault and battery at the moment that fight started, really, really rough.
Absolutely crucial. And Hiprain, I think you might be the only one to get the correct prediction today. This is looking really damn Unique favored. Nihu's managing to find that initial engage, just pulling the trigger. He walks mid, presses R onto 3 immobile carries and said, you know what, we're going. And they managed to find the team fight they want, turning it into the 3rd dragon. And I believe whilst it's Cloud Drake, and that's not exactly the best, it still complements Zeri a lot, right? You get a bunch of bonus move speed. Yeah, no. And you could just permanently kite forever, which is just not what Luca wants to deal with. Neither does Ploxy on this Wukong, so I think also, you might be right with this prediction.
Yeah, I actually think Cloud's actually really nice here, because like Akali wants it to be able to kind of, you know, be able to kite around the edge of the fights and stuff as well. This is nice for them. This is a very, very nice trait to pick up. I don't know, man. I just had confidence in Unique from the standoff. Like, I never doubted them. Always thought, always knew it would be Unique, man. Like, they were just the ones. But Riftail's been thrown down in the mid lane. Sorry, in the bot lane. Paul getting jumped onto is trying to dodge away on everything possible. Taxi's out with touch. He goes back in. Are you kidding me, Paul? They're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at him. Luca dodging away. Holy moly, Paul is unleashed. That was beautiful. And Kyra going to jump into the middle of everyone. Kingslayer heal coming in as he jumps onto the flank. As Antwer jumps over. Now has that ultimate. Chrisberg singled out. Taken down as he is picked apart, and it is all about Kyra getting himself the triple kill, the full ace for Unique.
And Paul with the sick ultimate and outplay 1 versus 4, managing to turn around, go 1-for-1, which then devolves into a team fight which Unique wins. And you just gotta wonder, what plays can be made now? They got completely aced and they're getting outscaled. I just see such a 1v9 performance from Paul, and Luca, he just can't hold a candle to it.
Oh my word. I can't believe Paul took that, man.
That was insane. That was actually insane.
You know what? That was genuinely the most un-ego play ever. Like, there was no ego there. He went, I'm just going to blow it up and set my team up to take the team fight. Like, that wasn't, I'm going to get out and pad my KDA. That was, I will sacrifice my life to secure my team more kills. Absolutely massive brain play there from Paul.
I'm actually a Paul fanboy by now, I think. And I don't know what that replay was, but Orn clearing the wave, you know what, I'll take it.
He was clearing waves. Clearly.
Also,
something we haven't talked about are the Chrisberg's deaths, because Paul is after him, but nope, Touch gives his life up. Big thing to note as well.
I think they're going to turn into a Baron now.
Ornaments are coming in. Yeah, Baron's coming up, but also Ornaments coming in. First one's going to go over to Kyra. Gives himself the, oh god, I can't remember what Shield Bow's upgrade's called. It's really edgy.
Don't ask me.
It's really, really... You're a top laner. You got to know this stuff. It's like Bloodfall and Sacrifice, I think, or something like that. It's really edgy. We are going to see the Ornhorn taken away here. Luca's going to get single targeted out as he jumps over the wall. They're going to throw everything down. In comes the return Ornhorn. Knocks up a couple of members as Ploxy's on the backline. Running amok here, but Kyra's able to hold. Luca's chasing. The Polymorph shuts him down. Double kill for Kyra. Back to Baron.
And Kyrax, crucially, does not get chunked out. Doesn't mean they're going to get Baron here, but really important when you play against Zeri, your engage has to kill the Zeri, right? Like, you could see here, the engage comes down, they try, and then honestly, it's a big cluster. You can't really see what's going on, but Zeri needs to get locked down. She cannot, and you can see they tried to do it to Wukong. But after this, she just gets peeled, and she just cleans up. Zeri is the cleanup god. If you do not lock her down with your initial engage, you will die afterwards.
Yeah, that was... When you got the Lulu, you just have so much survivability on her as well. Got the Phantom Dancer finished up. Shadow Flame onto Paul as well. So it's going to be a little bit hard. Luca's rower has been fully stacked though. So did obviously get that extra level. And that is basically all that's done. Is just equalized him to Paul in levels. So not the greatest, unfortunately, for Luca. You kind of, you know, when that stack...
Hipbrain? You cut out, mate. Okay, well, I'll continue, right? Yeah, not the greatest. And I imagine this this Rod of Ages isn't the best pickup here. Well, it was fine. It's just the problem is it doesn't bail you out enough considering how far behind you are, right? You only get a level in and you're still level 14 to 14. You there?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Okay, welcome back, mate. I finished your point for you. Don't worry. It was on the Rod of Ages.
Yes.
No sweat, no sweat.
I mean,
believe
you
it's now going to be a Baron
something way smarter. See what they're going to do. Oh, actually, look at Paul's positioning. He's on that flank. He's on a pink ward. He knows he's not been seen. It looks like Vanir are actually predicting maybe that this is going to happen. They are just going to back away for the moment, though. Luca, see which ultimate he tries to steal away. Paul staying on at that point for the moment. Lingui,
eyes on Paul.
a little bit of damage chunked out of him. Vanir, playing it chill. Here comes the Ornhorn from Nihus. He gets interrupted. He can't get the knockup. Baron's been secured. Paul's going to jump in. They jump straight on a Chrisberg. He is slammed. He is popped. Kyra coming in with a triple kill. Dodging away. He's going for the Quadra. He's going to be able to find it. Can he find the pentakill? No way are we getting two. No, we're not. It's not going to happen. A Quadra for Kyra. Chrisberg. He doesn't want to give it over. It's going to be Cloud Soul. It's going to be Baron, though, over to the side of Uniq.
And Chrisberg crucially manages to survive, so this doesn't turn into a game-ending push. But Chrisberg is the only one that's, like, surviving these fights, and he's the only one with gold, right? So the problem is when Vi Antwer presses R on him, how can he do damage? This composition is awful for a Lucian to deal with. Paul just dives on him, Vi presses R, and he also has to deal with Nihus pressing an R on him too. You can't auto-attack in the midst of all that, and it just shows, because Chrisberg, the second he got Vi ulted, he just had to run.
You were completely right, man. This is one of the best matches of the day. We are being treated here. Uniq are playing so well. Really, really clutch stuff. Seeing the replay again, I mean, I understand why Chrisberg didn't give that over. That as much as the second penta would have been super hype, let's be real, you're not really going to give that one over.
And you got to wonder, like, the implications for the standings, right? Like, what does this mean? Where does Uniq place? Because Uniq have played against some pretty hard teams so far, if I'm remembering right. So the fact that they managed to, you know, come out to a Vanir, does that solidify themselves despite the standings, you know, and their losses? Does that solidify them as like a mid-tier team? I think that's what everyone's expectations were initially, and I think that's what I'm going to go with too.
Yeah, I think that is a perfectly fair assessment to be making as well. I think Uniq, you know, setting himself up for a mid-tier team. The question is can they go beyond that? Because that's where you need to be going. You want to be playing for more of a mid. But it looks like Lingui jumping in onto Kyra. They're going to be able to finish him up. That's one kill already picked up with the Kyra. Ploxy comes in with the monkey spin. But they've got the Lulu. They've got the wild growth to buy space. And on the backside, Paul is finding a double kill. Kyra also able to survive out as Nihus secures the kill. 4 members of Vanir have fallen. With the Cloud Soul, with the Baron still on for a quarter of its timer, this could be that final push. They've got the minion wave, they've got the damage, they've got the speed. Demolish Pox and all. Uniq are into the base. The inhibitor has been left bare. They flash in, they knock up, they lock down. The Zhonyas will only buy time for Luca as he's able to flash away and at least walk away with a little bit of integrity intact. 28 minutes on the clock. The Nexus has been left exposed, and Uniq are going to be winning this game.
And I've got to say, Hipbrain, you've impressed me with your predictions. I don't think anyone expects Uniq to come out on top